Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I hope you've had a good week, and I hope you will have a good Shabbos. This Erev Shabbos video Dvar Torah is sponsored by Jody and Kevin Kaufman in memory of Jody's son, Justin David Doyle, Yehuda, David Ben Yaakova, Zichrono Livracha, whose first year was observed yesterday, the 23rd of Teves. His neshama should have an aliyah. His memory should be a blessing. And we thank Jody and Kevin for the sponsorship. In addition, the Erev Shabbos videos of our Torah is always meant to be a merit for the hostages that remain in Gaza. Today's day 476 of their captivity, and we are still waiting to hear who will be for sure the next hostages, God willing, that will be released. We daven for them and all the hostages, their well-being, and everything should go smoothly. And in addition, our Torah should be a merit for the soldiers who are fighting, all their families, and all of Israel. In the beginning of this week's Parsha, Hashem speaks to Moshe Rabbeinu and tells him, Vayomer Elav, Ani Hashem, I'm the Lord, the God, Yud He Vav He. Va'ira el Avraham el Yitzchak el Yaakov bekel shakai. I appeared and I spoke to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov through the name Kel Shakai, Ushmi Hashem lo nadati lahem. But my essence, my true name, Yud He Vav He, I did not reveal to them, and I'm only revealing it to you and the Jewish people right now. What does the name Yud He Vav He signify? What does it mean? How is it different than other names? Rashi writes two related points. Rashi says that Hashem spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu and said that until this moment, Lo nikarti lahem b'midat amiti shali, I did not express myself and reveal myself, my true essence, my characteristic of truth. Shene'eman la'ameit dvarai, the name of Hashem captures that Hashem is trustworthy to make true his words, to fulfill his promises, and in particular, Neman l'shalem schar tov lipareh, that Hashem is trustworthy to both reward those who deserve reward, who perform good deeds, mitzvos, and also to punish those who deserve the opposite. And Rashi points out that throughout the Torah, the phrase Ani Hashem, that declaration appears both after the command to perform mitzvos and the warning not to violate certain prohibitions, to implicitly say, and I am Hashem, I am trustworthy, you can rely upon me, it is a guarantee that I will reward and punish accordingly. And the concept of reward and punishment is, of course, a foundational belief of Judaism and our Emuna and our faith in Hashem. One of the foundational aspects of it is to believe that Hashem rewards and punishes fairly. We may not always be able to understand how it is fair. He rewards and punishes both in this world and in the next world, so we cannot see all of his calculations. But we believe that Hashem rewards and punishes. And Hashem not only rewards generally, but he rewards precisely, specifically. He rewards great deeds and decisions that we struggle with and ultimately make the right decision. And he also rewards every small deed, every single little action, every word of Torah that we study, every kind word that we say to another. Everything is marked down, everything is recorded, and we will receive reward for every small detail. There are many statements of Chazal that stress this point. To quote one, Amar Yochanan ein HaKadosh Baruch Hu mekapeach schar kol birya afilu schar sicha naeh. Hashem does not withhold the reward of any creature, whether the greatest tzaddik or the most humble spiritual person. He does not withhold any reward. Afilu schar naeh, even just a kind word. Just say the right thing, a kind thing, a sensitive thing, humble or modest word. Every word that we and any person says, if it is a good word, will be remembered and will be rewarded. But the opposite is also true. The Gemara also teaches, this time in the name of Rabbi Chanina, Kol HaOmer HaKadosh Baruch Hu, anyone who says that Hashem is a vatran, that when someone says or does something wrong or does something bad or chas v'shalom evil, Hashem is a vatran, he just sometimes disregards things. He sometimes just doesn't care. He is interested in other things. It just doesn't reach him for it to be on his mind, so to speak. He's a vatran. He just doesn't care. Well, then Yavatru chayav, what you are really disregarding is your own life. Now, Rashi explains this to mean that if you have the mindset, yeah, you can do things, whatever, yeah, it might be wrong, it might be bad, it might be breaking the Torah, but Hashem doesn't really care, it doesn't really matter. He will sort of overlook it in a careless way. Well, then really what you're overlooking, what you're disregarding is your own well-being, because it will lead you and others, this mindset, to sin and to do bad things, which will only cause further negative consequences in this world or in the next. But perhaps there is another way to understand this teaching. Someone who says that Hashem disregards our actions, you are really disregarding yourself. And that is because we are to believe that Hashem is able and cares and sees everything that we do, and again records it and will reward and punish accordingly. When we don't really believe that, when we don't really have that on our mind, when we don't really feel that internally, sometimes maybe it's because we don't believe in Hashem that He can do this or does do this or cares to do this. But often it really comes from the fact that we don't believe in ourselves, meaning we don't believe that our own actions can be so impactful. We don't believe that our own actions are so important. It's not that God can't do it, but why would God care so much about what I do or some little detail of what I do? If you think that Hashem disregards your actions, it is really because you disregard your own actions. You don't really believe that your actions matter. And that's why you think whatever, it doesn't matter, and Hashem doesn't care. Hashem does care, and He cares because our deeds matter. That is the foundational belief of the Torah, that everything one of us does, whether for good or for bad, everything we do matters. Everything we do affects the world above. Everything we do will create a chain reaction of either more positivity or more negativity in this world. Our deeds matter. And when we speak of Emuna, of believing, and believing in the system of Schar Onesh, there are twin beliefs in that Emuna. There is the belief in Hashem, that He sees, that He cares, that He knows, that He will reward and punish, which of course we have to strengthen that emuna. But there is also a twin belief in our own actions, a belief that our actions matter, that Hashem has decided that our actions matter, that He says that He cares about our actions, that our actions reverberate in heaven and eternity, that our actions have effects within ourselves, within our souls, within the people around us, within this world. Our actions matter, and we are to believe in that. That's part of the mitzvah of Emuna. And according to Rashi and this explanation, that is part of what Hashem was revealing and teaching to Moshe Rabbeinu for the first time, so intensely, so clearly, in the beginning of Parshas Vayera. Ani Hashem, I am Hashem, and I reward and I punish, because I care what you do, because what you do matters. And Hashem says, I ask you to teach this to the Jewish people, to teach them to believe both in me and to believe also that what you do matters, and to use that to only choose well, to choose the good, and to bring more goodness both to this world and in the next world for ourselves and for the entire world. May we all strengthen that emuna in ourselves. Have a good Shabbos and Shabbat Shalom.